What's going on, everybody? I'm Ryan. Welcome back to another episode of Indie 5 Fridays. The last episode was very well received, so I'm happy to be bringing you another great indie game today. Real quick before we dive into the Bloodline, I'd like to mention that whenever we are judging these games at the end of each episode, those judgments don't represent how good or bad the game is, but rather how much potential we think the game has to go before reaching its full max potential. These scores do not reflect which game is better than others, and some games may have higher scores just because they're further along than others, just like this game is a little bit further along than N that we reviewed last time. With that said, I would like to jump in and show you 5 things that I really am excited for when it comes to the Bloodline. Right from the start, something you'll notice about this game is the great vast customization options it has. While these customization options are somewhat simple, there are a lot of different cool things you can choose from, like you can make his face look like he got mauled by a bear, you can give him cute little beards, and my favorite part, you can make him look like Papa Smurf. We're gonna go with like a war-torn Papa Smurf kind of look. He's battle hardened. Diving deeper into customization, there's many slots for armor and weapons that you can equip and upgrade throughout the game. Also, if you go over to your good old buddy Frederick over here, he gives you the option to customize more than just your appearance. You can also customize the colors of your armor, your leathers, your outfit. Today, Papa Smurf will be goth. Once you're finished talking to Frederick, the armorer, he tells you to go down here and talk to Santa Claus, or at least that's what I call him because I'm not good at remembering names. Once you talk to Santa Claus, you get to choose your weapons. For me, I chose the sword. I swear I did. Oh, I didn't equip it. As you can see, you can equip your weapons. Again, I'm unprofessional. Don't get mad. I chose the sword and the bow. Sorry, Santa. Santa Claus sends you on a quest to go talk to Miss Elizabeth Miller in Elder Glen, who I'm not going to talk to today. But given that after the developer watches this video, still wants me to do a playthrough of it whenever the game releases, I would be happy to go talk to Miss Elizabeth then. You can practice shooting and swinging your weapons out here in the practice range before heading out into the open world. And as you can see, they've implemented third person in the game as well, where Mr. Smurf looks pretty badass in his goth attire. You get to talk to people who equip you for battle and send you out on a quest. Not really sure what their relation is to you, except for that the armor dude calls Santa Claus father, so I guess he's Papa Claus. I don't know. Once you get out into the open world, you can really start to see the similarities between this game and Mountain Blade. I really like the open world aspect. I think this kind of idea in games should be implemented more often. You have the close quarter battles that you seek, but also you can travel far and don't have to walk individually by yourself all the way to these different places. And I think that's really cool. This just adds to the immersiveness that the game has to offer, and is another good point that I like about this game, the vast open world. Now, there are some tweaks I would add to this open world that I will give later, but overall, this is pretty cool. And as you can see, I have 5 soldiers. There's a group of 26 over there who we're not going to feck with because I don't want to die. And we're going to head into Elder Glen for our next point. So if you'd like, you can pause and read this. This is a little bit about town. Lots of awesome information there. I already know about it, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue. But basically what it says, and some of the next points that I've added, I added like 3 into 1 point. This game has a lot to offer, okay? Give me a break. Is the immersiveness of towns and some of the cool concepts that the developer has come up with based around these towns. So for starters, as you may have seen if you had paused that last screen and read that stuff, there is respect, which is one of my favorite things about this game. You can earn respect by doing quests for these little exclamation point boys and girls over here, or you can lose respect by doing illegal acts, which I'm not quite sure what that means. I assume that you can smuggle goods perhaps, or help bandits out or something of the sort, and then shopkeepers will start to ignore you, and that's no bueno. Another great thing I like about the cities is that when you go into a shop, as you can see, this one's called the Weeping Cauldron, and it has potions, and didn't read fast enough to see what the other thing was. Hold on, dude. Potions and ingredients. I think that's really cool that the shops all have individual names and it tells you what they do. That just makes the game seem really alive, and is something that games like Mount and Blade don't really offer. They don't really have names for their taverns or for their different shops. They're kind of just there. Also, another thing that's really cool is that the villagers or city dwellers, whatever you want to call them, they have their own individual names and jobs. Every single person that you see in this town, even the guards, have their names and jobs that they have. So like Gandalf right here, he is an Elderglen's alchemist. He clearly has something he wants to tell me, but I'm uninterested right now, so I'm walking away from him. The final thing I want to mention about the cities is how to recruit. And as you can see, I found the tavern over here, and right here is a recruitment board. You press E, and you can see all of the different troops that they have for hire. You can see what they do, how much they cost. I think that's a really cool way to implement recruiting, and I think that's definitely another thing that makes it seem just a little bit more alive as compared to Mountain Blade. Now the next point I want to get into is combat. Now before we go find a battle, it's probably wise to upgrade your soldiers because they kind of suck, not gonna lie. Right off the bat, your soldiers are gonna be ass. We have the handy dandy recruitment tab. Now as you can see here, I have 4 local militia swordsmen. Militia just stands for ass in games like this, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna upgrade them to Eldern soldiers. I think it'd be really cool if they added a picture here to show, like, you know, what they look like, because that's one of the coolest parts of Mountain Blade when you upgrade them, is to see, you know, what they turn into, and that way you can get to know your soldiers a little better. But that said, I think upgrading soldiers is an awesome way to get a character excited about recruiting people and then watching them grow. It just gives you this sense of success. Now we're gonna go look for a battle so I can show you guys a little bit about what it's like to command soldiers. So here you can see we've got 4 soldiers on the battlefield, not including ourselves, and we can pull up this command tab and choose who we want to command around. Now they're already in combat right now, so they may or may not listen, but if I say follow me, as you can see, they're coming back over to me to follow me around. You can command them around the battlefield. If I tell them to attack, they attack, and that's awesome. The battle animations in this game are really cool. You can hold right mouse to block stuff. So let's see, come here. Okay, that works. And you can click with the left mouse to swing. You also have a little grappling hook that you can shoot about, and that's honestly one of my favorite parts, is swinging around like Spider-Man. It's like Spider-Man and Papa Smurf had a baby, and this is what came out, and it's amazing. One of the most satisfying things in the game is shooting people with the bow. Wait, let's see if I can drop him. Like, did that not just make your day, watching that dude flail about as I shot him in the face? Oh shit. Oh shit. As you can see, I'm a pro gamer like always. So now that I've gone over 5 things that I really like about the game, I'm gonna go over 5 things that I would add to or improve on within the game already. For starters, I don't know if it's a thing or not. I haven't gotten deep enough into the game to find it if it is a thing already. Companions. I think finding companions, leveling them up, and giving them equipment is some of the best parts of playing Mountain Blade. It would be cool if like the armor would come with you from the beginning, the guy that Mr. Frederick that you talked to, and it would also be cool if you could find different companions scattered about. Like I said, this may already be a thing, and if it is, I apologize, I didn't find it if it was. I really think that would be awesome to implement to the game, and especially since this game has magic elements. Speaking of magic elements, I'd like to give an honorable mention to the things good about this game. Your skill book here has all kinds of skills, from blades, gadgets, magic, which gonna be awesome to throw fireballs at people, like, let's be honest, ranged, and leadership, which looks like they don't have too much on leadership yet, but it'll come. This is still in early access. With that out of the way, let's move on to the second thing that I would add to this game given I were the developer. This is a small one, and with games that are already really good, you kind of have to nitpick at things sometimes just to make them even better. Oh, I forgot about that feature. Look. You can just push people down if you run into them. Isn't that the best thing you've ever... Like, look at this bitch. Yeah, sit down, ho. On with the... Okay, back to focusing. The second thing I would implement is making it where you can see the people who have tasks for you, even when you're not looking right at them. For example, I think over here is a person that has a quest. Yes, the skill, the little exclamation point above their head. And I probably would have never seen them, given I were just playing. I would probably go up to one of these people first. But if the exclamation points kind of collected at the side of the screen. For example, I'm looking at this person right now. If as I looked off, if the question mark stayed on that left side of the screen, indicating that there is a quest in that direction, and then as I looked, it went over her head, it'd be a lot easier to find those tasks. This is something that's small, and perhaps the developer doesn't really want that to be a thing. I mean, exploring the town and finding them on your own does kind of give more into the realism of the game. So if that one's not implemented, I don't blame him, and I fully support that decision. The third thing I want to talk about is third person. Now, third person to me looks really good. The animations aren't too bad. The swinging looks fine. Switching weapons looks good enough. Shooting the bows even looks pretty decent. But the developer did say that... Did I just hit something? Your bounty what? Did I hit someone with the bow? Hold up. Your bounty in Elderglen? Oh shit. Okay, I didn't know this was a thing, but honorable mention right here. I just shot this guard in the head or something a minute ago on accident, and you there, you're there's a warrant. Pay what is due or serve your time. I guess I'm gonna pay my fine because I'm doing a little thing. It looks like you don't have enough. Well then, never. Run. Oh my god, I'm an outlaw. Anyhow, the developer said that sometimes the third person doesn't work the best, so I would go ahead and smooth out third person just for those people that prefer playing in third person instead of first person. First person is easy enough to play in, and if it's that big of a deal to the player, they can play in first person just fine. But having the third person option would add a little bit more to the game and allow players who are picky to have that option. It's a good thing that I got kicked out of that city because I kind of had to be on this map anyways. The next thing I want to talk about is the overworld map, and I think the map could be a little bit crisper. I think that it's good right now. You can see your character just fine, and you can see enemies just fine. For example, this little fecker is chasing me, but I don't think it would hurt to have a little bit bigger indications that there's enemies around or for your own army personally. I think it would be nice to have flags or banners, or maybe even just making the symbols that there already are just a little bit bigger so you can see them, or maybe making the characters a little bit bigger because it's hard to see really what's going on. And I think just making it a little bit more defined would add a level of crispiness. Yes, that's what we're going with. That said, it's not too bad now, but one thing on the world map that I do not like and I think really needs to be changed is the fact that you cannot stop the time. I think having the ability to stop time is very important for games like this, because otherwise I have to constantly keep running and I can't plan my next journey to where I need to go. I think if you add the ability to stop time when the character's not moving, similar to Mountain Blade, I think that would make the game a lot easier and allow the player to get their bearings when they're being chased by 9 goblins and they have to stop because they're too busy focused on talking about the playthrough and they are running away from the goblins. Feck off! The final thing I want to show is back in Elderglen, so let's hope the guards forgot about how I shot their comrade in the face earlier. Sometimes when you sprint around in the city, there are lag spikes. Now that I'm saying this, they're not gonna happen, but I swear. Okay, maybe not now, but a few times when I've come to the cities, there's been lag spikes. Like there it was. It's not a huge deal. It's bearable where the player can still get around and do what he's trying to do, but sometimes I would run all the way back here and it would lag me back. Oh, this bitch again. Fine, you know what? You're dead. It had to be this way, didn't it? Elderglen hates me more and more by the second. I didn't mean to shoot your friend in the face. It's not that deep, guys. I hope you're happy, feckin' Jordan Granville. Jordan was a chick, I think. Sometimes when you run around, there's lag spikes, and that is a little thing, but it definitely needs to be fixed. If not by the release, then sometime shortly after. But all around, this is a great game, so I don't think having lag spikes is going to be something that turns people off. Real quick, can I shoot Gandalf? Well, let me shoot you, Gandalf. That's unfortunate. Let's see if this guy will serve me since my reputation has clearly gone down. Well, he doesn't seem to care, so that's cool. We can always count on the Weeping Cauldron. Now that I've gone over the 5 things that I would improve on, I'm going to go ahead and go into the judging of this game. Starting with potential, I think this game has a 9 for potential, and that is because it is a great game. These types of games do really well these days, and they're starting to really grow in popularity. That said, I think it has a lot of competition, and that's what's keeping it from being a 10. Mountain Blade is clearly the biggest competition for this kind of game. I'm sure as time goes on that other competitors will rise in this genre, and it will take a lot for games like this to be at the top. However, this is a very well-made, well-looking game. Well-looking? Is that a thing? It is now. This game is very, very good on all fronts and is something that I'm excited to play whenever it comes out. I think even with other competitors rising up, if this game continues to make updates and improve on itself, that this game can be the top of its genre and could even compete with Mountain Blade one day, depending on how the developer goes about adding in some of the things I talked about and what he has up his sleeve for his own plans. Overall, you're just gonna have to see how this game does in the next few months or once it releases, and I'm very excited to see how this measures up against the bigger title. As for music and sound, the sound is fantastic. However, there is places where I think there should be music and there isn't. In the city, you can kind of hear ambient sounds of medieval instruments at some points. There isn't any right now, so I'm not going to pause and show you. I think that's really cool for the city. However, when you're in other situations, there's no music, and I think there should be. As far as sounds go, the grappling hook sounds great. Pulling out the sword sounds great. Swinging the sword sounds great. Combat sounds when you hit other people sounds really good. Here, listen to this when he draws back the bow. That just sounds like good. That's good solid bow sound right there. Now sometimes bows can sound like a wet fart. Now like listen again. Sounds kind of like a wet fart, but that's a good bow sound right there. And I think that those kind of sounds are very, very well made in this game. Even the footsteps and different things like that. And I haven't tried out any spells yet, but as soon as I try out the spells, I'm excited to see what kind of sounds those have. However, there are some places where I think there needs to be music. A big place is on the world map. I think when you're traveling the world map, there needs to be some soothing medieval type music, and I think that will really add to the ambience of this game, or ambiance. I don't know. I'm not savvy like that. But what I'm saying is that would really, really make the game more immersive and add to the feeling of this game and the type of game it wants to be. I also think during battle, there could be some cool combat music, and I think that that would really add to the game. One thing that you really, really don't have to add, it's really not a necessity, but that I would really be happy to do, is voiceovers for the characters. Me and Alex want to voice over a game so bad, or at least something like Veryl. Hear me out. Hear me out. Good day, lad. Is there something I can help you with? Like, come on. You that's solid Gandalf the Grey right there. You shall not pass. Let's see. Let's find somebody else. Who's this guy? Flynn here. Flynn? Good day, stranger. I don't suppose you're looking to learn some coin, are you? I said learn some coin. You want to learn coin, guys? God, I'm dumb. Okay, but you hearing me out, like, I can do pretty much like any one of like one accent, and that's my own. No, we're top-notch voice actors. Okay, enough of me begging them to let me voice over this game. Moving on to the next topic. Music/sound is a 6, and that's just because there's not music in places where I think the game could benefit from having music, but the sounds are very well made, and I wouldn't change those a bit. The next thing I want to talk about is gameplay. This game is very immersive, which really scored at some points. I think that the gameplay in this game is fun, and I like the combat. However, there are some places where I think it can improve. For example, commanding the soldiers. If you tell the soldiers to follow you, they won't fight enemies that come near. They'll just stand there and get wailed on. I think sharpening up the AI on some of those commands, and maybe even adding a few other commands, would really, really benefit this game. I think overall, it's a really great game. There's just small little details like the AI not following commands whenever you tell them to do stuff, or not fighting the enemies when you command them. But overall, for the gameplay, I'm giving this game an 8. I think that this game has solid gameplay, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun once it comes out. And I truly believe that this developer is going to get those things like the AI not fighting when they're following you fixed before the game's release, and even if it's not, I'm sure it will be shortly after. This game developer clearly cares a lot about this game. He's gone through great extents to make this game look, feel, and sound great. So I am excited to see what else he has to come up with. My last category is how much am I looking forward to a game. And after the little bit of time I've gotten to play this game, I gave this game a 10 for looking forward to it. I think that this game is going to be really, really great. I'm really excited to use some of the spells and get some of the better weapons later on, because if you watch the trailer on Steam, link below, you can see that some of these weapons will literally send goblins flying into outer space. And after looking at the spell book, which I will pull up right here, you can see under magic there's freaking fireballs and whatever this skull means, and I don't really understand any of it, but I think that it looks awesome, and there's more slots to add spells later on, so I think that's really, really cool. This game is definitely like Mount & Blade, and I am a huge fan of Mount & Blade, and I will definitely be playing a full playthrough of it once the game is released, or once the developer gives me a key to it. So with all that said, this game is fantastic. Very, very good. Very, very well made. And I'm really happy with the developer's work on this game. It's good to see games like this where the developer really, really cares about the environment and the sense of immersiveness that you get from playing it. I think that there are certain areas where it needs to improve, just like in all games. There's things I would definitely improve in Mount & Blade, and it's good to see games like this challenging Mount & Blade's genre so that Mount & Blade is forced to do better next time they make a game, because Bannerlord was okay. It was okay, but it's very similar to their first game and not much changed. There are some new things, but overall it's somewhat in a lot of ways like a reskinned Mount & Blade. This game is going to challenge that. It's going to add new things like the magic, and it's going to make Mount & Blade rethink what they're doing with their games. Maybe Mount & Blade will be pushed to make magic next time to compete with this game. I really hope this game does well enough to challenge Mount & Blade in that way. But until then, this game is going to be a lot of fun, and I am very excited to play it. So real quick, I'd like to say thanks to Shieldbearer Studios for allowing me to show this off on my channel. I really hope that this was helpful for you guys at Shieldbearer Studios, and I really hope that you can find a way to fix or implement some of the things I said into the game. I'd also like to say thank you to Shieldbearer Studios for showing off our channel on their social media. That really, really helps out the channel and gets new fans here, so I really appreciate that. And yeah, I look forward to working with you guys in the future. I thank everybody for watching. If you guys want to see more games, if you guys have developers who want to have their game on here, if you guys are a developer who want to have your game on here, make sure you look below into the Discord and contact me that way. Also, if you're just a fan of the channel and you haven't joined the Discord yet, we'd love to have you. We do all kinds of things in the Discord, from sharing our art projects to naming the characters for the next series that we're playing on the channel, to putting our favorite quotes from our videos in there, and announcing when streams and new videos are happening. So if you aren't in the Discord, make sure you come hang out with us. We would love to have you. Also, you can see in our advertisement section cool games like this. I invite all developers that we show off on the channel to that so that they can advertise their games, and it's a really good time over there, so make sure you come join. Other than that, everybody, I appreciate you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any recommendations. Leave down in the comments how excited you are about this game and what you think the developer could do better. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys next time.